Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I am Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend this time together helping you to magnify your miracles. Today, we're going to be talking about how I plan for a miraculous year. This is a process I go through every year, and I hope it inspires you to start anticipating having a miraculous year yourself. But before we get into all of that, let's just take a deep breath together. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out whatever you no longer need, just giving us a chance to settle in together. If you're driving, please keep your eyes on the road, but you can always bring your awareness to your breath. Starting to become aware of that beautiful divine presence that is always here, guiding us, supporting us, and loving us. Knowing that whatever you need to hear today to magnify your miracles is exactly what you're going to hear. Let's take one more deep breath in gratitude, and we can begin. All right, my friend, well, welcome once again. And I'm really looking forward to sharing this process with you of how I plan for a miraculous year. Now, I've never shared this with anybody, but I realize it's a process that I go through every year, and it's something that keeps me in the vibration of miracles throughout the year. And I'm recording this at the end of 2022, but you can listen to this anytime that you're looking to plan whatever it is that you're planning, because I'm doing my end of the year, looking back at the year and looking at the new year ahead. And so there's a process that I go through every year that kind of puts me on, it makes me tune into kind of the energy of the three wise men. Like I'm looking for the signs in the cosmos. I'm looking to connect the dots of what's going on. And honestly, it's a big piece of how I determine what I'm going to be offering in the new year in my business. It also gives me insight as to, on a personal level, energies that are happening. And the most important thing is it keeps me connected to Divine Mother. It keeps me connected to Mother Mary and what it is that she's trying to show me, because she has taught me all these years that I've been working with her. What she's taught me is to pay attention. Pay attention to cosmic events that are happening in the heavens. Pay attention to the calendar. Pay attention to different sacred feast days and other things that are going on. And all those things together help me get an idea about what's going on and what I'm being asked to do. So if you are a light worker, you're a spiritual entrepreneur, maybe you're not going to be doing work the way that I'm doing it, but it can still help you to get an idea of what is it's kind of like, what is the frequency that's coming through? And this is by no means exhaustive. I'm just going to give you some of my favorite tools and how I do it, just to give you an idea of how maybe you might start doing some things, how you can start using some of these tools if you choose, and maybe they would be helpful for you. So the first thing that I do is I get myself a wall calendar. I get a wipe off wall calendar. I usually just get it from Staples or somewhere like that. I'm going to put a link to everything I use in the show notes for you. So if you wanted to use the exact things I'm using, you can. And I put it up on my wall. I'm looking at it right now. And it is my 2023 at a glance yearly planner. And I get it so I can put it on my wall and I can see it. And that becomes the thing that I put everything on, because I have my markers and I put down everything. And so I put that on there. And the first thing I do is I take a look at the year and I look to see, like, is there anything that jumps out at me? And I always look for the first thing, which is my birthday. When is my birthday? What's happening around my birthday? And then I look at Mother Mary's feast days, and I look at new moons and full moons, and I'll go into all of this in more depth for you. But this is what I do, is I look at my big calendar, and that big calendar is the thing that I use to help me kind of map out what's happening when and what is it that I need to know, because these cosmic events are the things that are kind of the pinpoints for me throughout the year. Now, they change every year depending upon what's happening, and some of them are constant, like we know that Christmas is always on December 25th, but there are things that change. And then of course the lunar patterns change of when the new moon and the full moon is. So I get my big calendar, and that's the first thing that I do. The next calendar that I get is, I'll share this with you, It's called Mary and the Saints. This is my 2023 calendar, Mary and the Saints. Oop, there it is, Mary and the Saints. And what's great about this calendar, if you're a follower of Mother Mary, is, in addition to the beautiful pictures, is it has the feast days in there. So it has all the saints days, and you can see on every day of the year, there's a different saint and all of that. So this gives me an idea about what's going on when. And so I always look to see what's going on with Mother Mary's feast days. Her main feast days, January 1st. She also has the Annunciation on March 25th. And then, of course, May is the month of Mary. So I always look what's going on there. They have the energy of the visitation. We have August, which is her month as well. And then within that, there's all the apparition sites and all that. So I put those in there to look to see where do they fall. And then I take out my handy Seasons and Cycles moon calendar, which I love. And this one tells me, you know, all the mystical things. It's telling me, for example, if we look at January of 2023, let me see if I can get this on the camera. We see that the full moon is happening on January 6th, which is what? That is Epiphany. That is when we celebrate the three wise men coming and bringing the gifts. So we're having a full moon that day. And so that lets me know that, oh, there's a light on that day, letting us know something's happening. And then the first new moon of the year is happening on the 21st. And that means also that Chinese New Year is happening on the 22nd. So then I look this up to see what's going on. And then the other thing that's really important, because this is how I am, is I look to see when are the eclipses happening in the year. And the other thing I use for that is this Moonology diary. Now, this is the 2022 one. I don't have my 2023 one yet. But what's great about this is it tells you full moon eclipse, where is it going to be? What do you need to do? What's the energy of it? So I really like this tool because even on a weekly basis, it gives you an idea of what's going on cosmically. And then what I love about the Moonology lady, Yasmin Boland, is that she gives you these practices to do every month, a full moon forgiveness and a new moon intention. And so this book, even if you're just working with the moon, is really, really great to keep track of the moons and what's going on. But she gives you a heads up about the eclipses and how to work with them and the different energies for them. So then I look to see where the eclipse is happening. How can I work in harmony with those eclipses? So I'm looking at new moons, I'm looking at full moons, I'm looking at eclipses. And then usually what I do is I'll actually have an appointment with my mentor, Reverend Jane Howard Feldman, and I'll ask her usually around my birthday, and then 6 months later around my half birthday, and I'll say, what's happening? Because I'm not a professional astrologer by any means. What I look for is the things that I know through experience work for me. I'm really affected by the moon because I have a lot of planets in Cancer. I'm really affected by the eclipses because I have a lot of planets in Cancer, and also I was born right around an eclipse. So I've just noticed over time, things get a little bit activated for me then. And then I also look to see what else is going on. When is the Lion's Gate happening, the 8-8 vibration, what's going on around there, and what's happening. So just by looking at next year and looking at those things, I can already tell you that Archangel Michael's energy is going to be really strong next year because there's an eclipse happening on May 5th, and May 5th is 5-5. That's the 5-5 vibration. So I already know I'm going to be doing an event of some kind on May 5th with Archangel Michael. And then I also saw that on his feast day, which is September 29th, there's also a full moon happening then as well. So full moon, light shining on that. And eclipse is like having a spotlight on it. So there's something with that 5-5 vibration. And next year, even though it's 2023, and if you do numerology, which again, I'm just an amateur with all of that, but you add up the numbers 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, you get the number 7. So universally, everybody is going to be experiencing a 7-year. And I don't know enough about that to really give you a lot of information. I know 7 years tend to be a little bit more inward. But what I've also seen is that 7 vibration is very connected to Saint Germain. And it's also very connected with Archangel Zadkiel. And it's about freedom through the power of forgiveness. And I'm already starting to feel I'm already starting to feel that particular ascended master, Saint Germain, making his presence known to me, which lets me know I'm probably going to be doing some events with Saint Germain next year, because that's the vibration. Saint Germain and Archangel Zadkiel working with that that violet flame vibration as well. But if we take the year 23 and we just look at it as a 2 and a 3, and we forget about the 2 and the 0, we'll be writing, 23. Very rarely do we write out the whole 2, 0, 2, 3. We'll be seeing the 23, just like this past year, we've been seeing the 22. And the 23, if you add that up, is a 5. And so there is an eclipse on 5/5/23, which also adds up to 5. So there's something about that with Archangel Michael. And I don't know exactly what, but I'm going to be listening for that because it's a heads up. It's one of those things that I'm paying attention to. So Archangel Michael, full moon on his feast day, September 29th, and a full moon eclipse on the 5/5/5 energy. Now, I'm also really connected with that 5/5 vibration because my birthday is connected to that energy as well. So that lets me know something is going to be activated for me on a personal level as well. And that's why I encourage you to take a look at your birthday, the numbers, whatever works for you, and find out a little bit more about some of these things so that you can understand how things are affecting you, what's going on around your birthday, what's going on around, maybe there are feast days or other things that you're connected to find out. Now, one of the things I looked at is I noticed that Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of the Lenten period, those 40 days before we get to Easter, is happening on February 22nd this year. So now we have a 2/22 vibration going on for Ash Wednesday. So I'm going to pay attention to that. And I'm going to be like, okay, what's going on with that vibration, Divine Mother? Is there something that you're wanting me to do? Is there something that you're wanting me to notice about that particular day in general? Or is it something I'm supposed to be guiding people in the membership through? I don't know. I'm going to be listening for that. So that's part of what I do as well. The other thing I do is, because I'm an East-West kind of girl, is I look for other traditions and I look to see what's going on in the Vedic calendar. I want to know, when is Shivaratri happening? Shivaratri is a very sacred time of devotion to Shiva. People stay up all night worshiping Shiva, celebrating, chanting, doing all kinds of things. So I look to see, when is that happening? And this year it's happening February 18th. I'm looking to see, is there anything that I need to know about that? I'm looking to see, when is Guru Purnima? Guru Purnima is the most important full moon of the year for in the Vedic calendar. We're looking to see, when does that fall? Well, this year it's July 3rd. So I'm going to pay attention to that, what's happening around that time. And then, of course, as somebody who loves Divine Mother, I'm going to be looking into, when is Navaratri, the 9 days of Divine Mother. That usually happens in the fall. And I haven't looked that up yet. So that's one of the things I'm going to be looking at. So I take all those pieces of everything and I look at what's going on in Judaism. Where are the things happening? When is the New Year? When is Rosh Hashanah? When is Yom Kippur? Mother Mary always wants me to pay attention, especially in September, which is her birthday. When is that happening? What day does Mother Mary's birthday fall on? So I don't mean to overwhelm you with everything, but this is what goes on behind the scenes for me, is I'm always looking and I'm always listening for, what's the theme? What's happening? When are the major religions having their different things? Because these are all ways that the universe communicates with us. And I love it. It makes me feel like I'm, kind of like a Sherlock Holmes, looking to see, what does it all mean and how does it all come together? So these are the things that kind of give me the broad picture. And then what I'll do is I'll meditate and I'll journal and I'll listen and I'll ask and I'll say, Divine Mother, is there something that you're wanting me to do around this feast day? Is there something that you're wanting me to do around the eclipse? Is there something that you're wanting me to do? Let me know and show me what might be going on. And then I look to see, what signs does she show me? Usually she'll bring something to my attention. A book might fall in my lap. As you know, I love books. Or an article might come across my desk, or I might have a conversation with somebody, or my mentor might send out a newsletter. Something will happen to let me know, pay attention to this, whatever this is. So these are my tools, my handy dandy tools I use. There's a lot more things that I could share with you in terms of tools. I'm definitely a big fan of oracle cards and all of that, but these are my go-to things. So I have my big calendar on the wall, my at a glance calendar, and I fill it in with everything that I'm doing and everything that I'm feeling called to do. And then I look to see what's going on with eclipses, what's going on with Mother Mary's feast days, what's going on with any of the other feast days, what's going on east and west. I look at all of those things, and then I look at the moonology as well to see what's falling where for myself personally. And then I ask Divine Mother, well, what would you like me to do? Or like I like to say, Divine Mother, what did you have in mind? What did you have in mind? What is the overall energy? What is it that's happening? So that's what I do. And I would love to know, what is it that you do? What it does is it puts me in that energy of like miracles. Like the fact that these things are happening and that we can even just get a glimpse of them. It's like, wow, that's amazing. That's totally amazing. Do you do anything like that? How do you plan? Because, you know, you can do your planning as goals and all of that, and that's totally fine. I think that that's totally fine. It's great to do that. But I really like to read the signs. I really like to read the energy. I really like to look and see what's happening and how am I being asked to be of service given that this is the energy that's going on. So that's a peek behind the scenes of what it's like here at the Magnify Your Miracles headquarters. This is what we do at the end of the year. Actually, I do this all year long, to be honest with you. It makes my wife a little crazy because I'm always looking at things. As soon as it's summer solstice, I look to see what's going to be happening at winter solstice. Because I love looking at patterns. It's why I love working with people's energies. I love seeing patterns. I love seeing how the universe is dancing with us all the time. And that's the other thing I look at. Solstices, when are they happening? When are the seasonal changes happening? All of these things, it's just the language of spirit. That's what it is. It's the language of spirit, how spirit is speaking to us and what it's inviting us to do in this beautiful dance that we do every year around the sun. So my friends, that's what I wanted to share with you. I will have links to all of these products in my show notes so you can easily get them if you'd like to. And I encourage you to look for other things that also speak to you as well. If you don't get yourself an annual reading, like an astrology reading, I highly recommend that you do that. I am going to be inviting an astrologer to be a guest on the podcast in the next couple of months, and that'll be a valuable resource for you. But as always, I say, you know, get a reading with my mentor, Reverend Jane Howard Feldman. She looks at things from the highest perspective, and I highly recommend that you connect with her as well. I think that's an amazing thing to do. And as always, if you want to find out what's going on with your energy, you can also schedule and ask your energy session with me, and you can find out how is your energy aligning with the energy that's happening in the universe. What's your energy really calling you for? Because really everything that's happening out there is just a reflection of what's happening within you. It's just a fun way for us to take a look and be able to see ourselves externally through all these cosmic events and all these holy days. It's really a reflection of what's going on with you. All right, my friend. So thank you so much for tuning in. I love spending this time with you. It's just so fun for me to share all these beautiful tools and ways that you can really connect in deeply with the universe, because the truth of the matter is, we all know your miracle is already here. We have to pay attention and we have to live in anticipation of it. That's what I want for you for this new year and for every day. God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.